Good morning, my dear friends. Let me introduce myself. This is P. Krishnamurthy, lecturer in English, working at Government Degree College for Women, WANAPARTHY. We have been talking about value orientation, and another chapter we are talking about the importance of proverbs, the meanings of proverbs, how best they are going to enhance the human values, especially how best we are going to incorporate human values among the students. And in the previous videos, part one, part two, in part one, we talked about the time and tide, wait for no one. In the part two, we talked about the pen is mightier than sword. Practice makes perfect. And today, we are going to talk about necessity is the mother of invention. The second one is also very, very important. Well begun is half done. So I sincerely and very happily and gladly, I just invite you to this video class. My dear young students and studying UG and PG or whatever the course it might be, but this is precisely meant for UG students under Usmania University, Cork University. So this, as per the syllabus and as per the directions and instructions given by our Honorable Commissioner of Collegiate Education, so Sri Naveen Mittal Garu. And really we feel excited and enchanted to say so great about these video lessons. And we love to interact with you and we love to express our views on the projected topics of UG 1, UG 2. So let us go into the topic right now. Yeah, value orientation, proverb expansion, part 3. We have finished part 1, part 2. Now we are going to enter the part 3. So today, the two proverbs are going to be explained to you in detail about the importance of them, how best they are going to emphasize the human values in the minds of the students, in the minds of the members in the society. That's very, very important that we need to understand. And thanks to all the syllabus framers, thanks to all the learner scholars who framed syllabus for our UG, so first year and UG second year. Excellent chapters have been included. So of all the chapters, this is also one of the best item that have been talking about the value orientation. Under the value orientation, proverbs and quotations are being explained to the students. The three proverbs have been explained with all kinds of explanation. And now we are going to talk very, very precisely in detailed manner. So necessity is the mother of invention. Well begun is half done. So my dear young friends, try to understand the underlying meaning of these proverbs. Try to understand the deeper meaning of these two proverbs. In what way they are going to help us, in what way they are going to encourage us, in what way they are going to imbibe new values in us, in what way they are going to be important in our life. Are they going to increase our soft skills? Are they going to increase our human skills? Are they going to increase our are they going to develop certain inborn talents in us? And Lord has to be talked about this one. And in schools and colleges, people simply, oh, you are talking about that proverb. I know that proverb. I can just write a paragraph. I can write an essay on that proverb. But most of them, they just keep on writing. They just keep on explaining. But very few of them could understand the inner meaning of that proverb. What kind of the enchanting work that it does, and what kind of the impact will bear on the people who listen to that, people who read those proverbs. That's why whenever you read any proverb or any quotation, you read in between lines. You try to understand word by word every term that has been used by that so and so person. When you listen to a speaker, when you sit in any class and listen to the lecturer, professor, and telling about the importance of these proverbs, you try to listen to him so carefully and try to understand intuitively what is the meaning that is really hidden in that one. Is there anything that I have to learn from these? So proverbs, really, I just say only one thing to all the young friends, there is every point in each and every item that has been included in syllabus. Apart from cramming the information, apart from getting the information, apart from just writing and dumping the information in the examination hall, apart from that, you try to understand in what way this proverb expansion is going to improve your communication skills. In what way you are going to extend yourself, in what way you are going to make yourself as a well-being in the society, because every person is a member in the society. Man is a social animal. So when you are in the society, you try to involve in the actions or in the activities which are meant for the fellow human beings only. So right now we'll go in detail and try to understand what these two proverbs, necessity is the mother of invention and well begun is oft done, in what way they are going to improve our knowledge, in what way that they are going to increase our values, and what kind of the impact will be there on us after reading, after listening, after understanding each and every proverb. So let us study this one. First one we are going to study about this one. The necessity is the mother of invention. Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. What do you understand by necessity? Need, essentiality, need, emergency. When need arises, when need happens in your life, lot of wonderful talents will come into force. You never know that you have that kind of ability that you can do it. But suddenly you just come up and just speak for hours together when there is necessity for you. Necessity that always creates certain wonderful skills in you. You don't know that you have got that kind of skill. Somebody will notice that one. When you speak, you may be speaking in a very ordinary manner. You don't know that you are a good speaker. You may be interacting with each and every member in the society. But people who observe you, people who listen to you, people who always keen on your way of speaking, and people understand, hey, this gentleman, this lady has got very good talent in speaking. So in the introduction part, when necessity arises, one can achieve wonders. When there is need for you, you can achieve wonders. You don't understand about your capacity. That's the reason we have to understand what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. That's why every individual has to make SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are the threats that are there? SWOT analysis or SWOT analysis. It may be said in a personality development course, you just come across these two terms, SWOT analysis and SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, or challenges. You can say like that. So when necessity arises, one can achieve wonders. When there is need for you, it's an emergency, then naturally people, lot of skills come up. They just break from you and just come outside, and you can just make use of those skills and exhibit your talent like anything. And people wonder. So necessity prepares to achieve greater things. Necessity is that essentiality or need or emergency that propels you, that pushes you forward. Come on, go. This is the right time for you. Come on, you achieve it. You have got the right opportunity. Come on, just move forward and try to achieve that one. And you can achieve greater things also. You never believe that you have that kind of talent unless until you sing a song and people could not know that you are a great singer. That's the reason, sometimes accidentally. So some are turned to be great singers, some are turned to be great actors, some are turned to be great speakers, some are turned to be great writers. Some they come to know their own talent and skill only by accidental exhibition of their skills. Maybe in the classroom, the teacher asks you, come on, sing a song. Because, so 5 minutes is there to the bell. Then the lecturer asks one of the students, please get up. Do you know how to sing songs? Yes, sir. I don't have any scientific method of singing songs, but I keep on singing songs whenever I just move from my village to college and food. I enjoy myself singing songs. The boy or a girl says like that. Come on, sing a song. The girl sings the song or a boy sings the song, and it's a melodious song. You sing melodiously. And all the members sitting in that classroom, including the teacher, they get so surprised to listen to that song. Hey, what an excellent singer you are. No, sir, I don't know my talent. I just sing casually. I never know about my talent, but so necessity. So that's called necessity prepares to achieve greater things. So when necessity, you know very well, these are the times of Corona. Corona is very vibrant in India and across the world also. So necessity prepares. Every scientist is on the path of invention. Every scientist is making rigorous efforts to invent a vaccine for this corona disease. Necessity. Otherwise, all the scientists, they have their own avocations. They may be involved in some other inventions. But all the scientists, all the biological scientists and all the medical scientists, all of them, they are involved around the world because this is the necessity. Today it is a necessity. Necessity is a need of an hour. All the members in the world, they just look for the vaccine for corona. Now the necessity arises. It propels each and everyone. Come on, go and try to achieve something else. And that is going to save the humanity. That's a necessity. When it is urgency, when it is an urgency, when it is an emergency, so wonders may be created and great things may be achieved. Necessity makes you dynamic. It makes you dynamic. You have to pass the examination. Father says to a son, my dear son, you applied for that entrance examination. If you get seat in that examination, if you secure a seat in that institution, I will send you for that higher education. If you don't secure a seat in that educational institution, I don't send you to higher education. The father, there is a conversation between father and son. There is a conversation between father and the child. The child says, Father, Dad, I want to study. I completed my UG course and I want to join in PG. I want to get seat in Osmania University, maybe Central University, maybe any prominent university in India. I wrote entrance examinations for all 10 universities. If I secure a seat in any university, I'm ready to go and I'll become a great person in future. These are the words of the son. But father, after all, father is a poor man and he is not educated and is illiterate. And he says to son, okay, my dear son, actually, I don't have an idea to send you to any city and allow you to study higher education. But on one condition, I agree to your proposal. If you secure seat in a university, I will encourage you to study, to go for further education. That is called condition. Necessity means here a condition. If a condition is created, the condition propels, the condition makes you dynamic. Then the child studies, and he day and night, day in and day out, day in and day out, he involves in studying all various number of books on the topic, and he secures a seat in Central University. And he goes to father, Father, here is my seat. I got selected to study in that Central University, University of Hyderabad. As you promised me, so would you mind sending me to Hyderabad and study my PG course in that one? And father also, he gets exhilarated, and he also felt very happy. My son got selection and he is going to join in that Central University. Okay, you just go. How is it happen? How is it happen? Let me ask only one thing, my dear friends, because there is a condition, necessity. Otherwise, so father cannot afford. So he cannot buy seats in any private universities for any PG. He cannot spend so a lot of money for any course. That's the reason. If you want to study in that university, secure a seat and get a seat, and in that way I don't have any objection for you and for your proposal. And that's the way that necessity makes dynamic. Necessity builds up courage and self-confidence. So necessity means a need, essentiality, emergency, and urgency. It's a condition, I could say that one. So necessity builds up courage and self-confidence. So you feel this is need of an hour. I have to prove. As I told you already, some of the cricketers. So the manager or maybe the captain gives a chance to this batsman. My dear fellow batsman, this is the last chance. If you prove your ability in playing and sending the ball to boundaries in this match, you will be selected for World Cup. If you don't prove your ability, if you don't hit the ball to fours and sixes in the limited overs, and I think I'm sorry that you are not going to be selected. Then the particular cricketer, the particular batsman, what happens? He decides in his mind. He becomes courageous, and he develops self-confidence in that one, and he decides himself, and with all his concrete willpower, he goes and stands in the crease as the ball comes on to him, and he just sends the ball to fours and sixes, and maybe because necessity is there. He has got that willpower that he wants to play for World Cup cricket. He wants to play for India. He wants to play in that World Cup team. He wants to be a member in that World Cup team. So that is the will. So necessity has come to him. You have to prove your ability. So he proves and he is selected for World Cup team. In that way, so necessity is the mother of invention. Let's see this one. What is the meaning and explanation here? Necessity is the meaning. Necessity is the mother of invention. One can develop radical way of thinking with necessity. When need arises, when necessity arises, one can develop radical way of thinking. Radical way of thinking. Suppose when you are closed in one room, when you are given a warning within 1 hour, so you are going to be shot dead. You are going to be shot dead. But you are locked in that room. You are put in that room. The door is locked from outside, and you have been given a warning. Within 1 hour, you are going to be killed. But as a human being, we do our trials. We do our trials to escape from that one. Then what happens, in most of the movies we see, or most of the cine, maybe in our serials, daily serials, we see that when a hero or a heroine is locked inside of the room, when he's given a time, within 1 hour you are going to be shot dead, you are going to be killed. Remember, you can't escape from here. And do you think that the hero doesn't do any trials to escape from there? Do you think that the heroine doesn't do any kind of trials to escape from that room? We find in the daily serials, we find in cinema, so that he or she does rigorous efforts to escape from that room, and that is going to be materialized. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. So necessity always allows you to think in a radical manner to escape. Then you think this side and that side, and maybe so on the maybe so around maybe on the door there is one small window is there, one ventilator is there. Of course, the ventilator is fixed with all iron sheet. It's very difficult to break that one with your hands. And you search inside of the room. Is there any hard metal is there? Is there any iron rod is there to break that ventilator, and you can go through that one. You can just escape from that room. Suddenly you find that one and you hit it and you broke that one. You came outside. That's why necessity always develops a radical way of thinking. It's not one way of thinking. It's not just a routine way of thinking. When necessity arises, you think in a radical manner. You always think in different manners. You think in a different ways to escape from that one. One can think creatively, and necessity, when necessity arises, one can think creatively. Creative ideas may come to you. Creative ideas. One can think out of the box also. As long as there is no need for you, you never try to come out of the box. You never try to think out of the box. You never think creatively. When necessity arises, one thinks out of the box. One thinks out of the box, and that way of thinking makes you something special in the society. That everyone has to understand it. Let us cultivate the habit of thinking out of the box. Let us cultivate the habit of thinking creatively. Let us own critical way of thinking. How do you gain this kind of power? When you are a student, when you are a teacher, when you are a member of the society, when you are an employee in any office, how do you gain this kind of thing? You have to think. You have to feel when the situation arises, when any necessity arises. What is your reflection? What is your response? And that's the reason in most of the interviews that are conducted today for unemployees. No, they don't ask all these very routine questions, very drab questions, and bookish questions. And today, whenever you are going to be selected, whenever you attend any interview, the interviewers, they ask very practical questions. Away from your subject, away from your book, they ask very practical questions. They would like to test your personality, whether this particular employee is going to be suitable to our company, our organization or not. They want to test this one, whether this employee has got that power of thinking out of the box or not, has got that tilt of thinking creatively or not. And they think, they listen to you. And that is the way necessity arises. Whenever necessity arises, one can think out of the box. One can find solutions to the problems. One can find solutions to the problems. Maybe maybe 4 or 5 years back, or maybe some 5-6 years back, I happened to see one Telugu movie. In that movie, Chintakala Ravi, I think so. In Telugu movie, that Venkatesh is the hero in that movie. So he has been searching for a job, and he has been to the interview, and by somehow in the interview he is selected, and he is given an assignment. And he is supposed to work on the system. Of course, he doesn't have so much of knowledge on the system. Maybe some 4 or 5 years back, he has completed his BTech degree, and for 4 or 5 years he remained. He remained without any job. So he didn't do any kind of efforts of working on the computer. Somehow he lost that touch. And suddenly when he is selected, when he is given that assignment to work on the computer, and somehow that was scrambled. Somehow that assignment was scrambled, and he felt very embarrassed. And he goes to the employer, "Sir, this is the thing that is done." Ma'am, this is the thing that is done. Don't tell all silly reasons. You young man, by tomorrow, you have to complete your assignment. That is the deadline for you. If you complete that assignment, and you will be staying in this organization. Otherwise, and you will be removed from your job and you will be on the roads. That's all. Necessity arises and he goes to that system and he keeps on working on that one. Maybe so at midnight, around some 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, no, so late night, that somehow he got it and he slept there. Tomorrow morning, the very next morning, what happens? All the people, they came, he was sleeping and he woke up and just showed to that employer and to the boss saying, sir, I got it. And he applauded. I know that you can do it. Even this hero doesn't know that he can do it. But you know, necessity propels that young man. Necessity so makes that person confident on himself. That's the thing. One can think out of the box. One can find solutions to the problems. One can so develop skill of problem solving. With a necessity, one can think problem solving also. That's the thing. Next, explanation with examples. Some scientific inventions are the outcomes of necessity. For your kind information, you know. Some scientific inventions are the outcomes of necessity. Some scientific inventions, for example, like Alfred Nobel, accidental invention of atom bomb due to necessity. They were in doldrums. They were so in poverty. There was no other way for his family to survive. Survival was the question for them. It was banned selling that so the liquid form explosives, the liquid explosives. It was banned. Don't sell that liquid form of explosives. So somehow he wanted to save the family, and somehow he invented atom bomb, and due to necessity only. Necessity is the mother of invention. Like that, some scientific inventions are the outcomes of necessity. For example, I can say that necessity leads to medical inventions. Necessity leads to medical inventions. In the field of medical scenario, most of the inventions that were taken place due to necessity only. These are the times of corona. Necessity arises. Scientists are involved to invent vaccine for this corona. Students achieve wonderful results because of necessities sometimes. Sometimes, you know, even students also, they achieve wonderful results sometimes. That happens so that you don't understand that one. Necessity develops way of thinking. Necessity so develops way of thinking. Necessity target oriented. So necessity target oriented. So you have a target. What happens? You have a target. And when you make a target, what happens? Then you have a target before you and you always do efforts. I just say do only one thing for you. So when all the targets are the other names of necessities. All the targets are the other names of necessities. And that is the thing. So all the necessities are the other names of target. All the targets are the other names of necessities. So wonderful things are wonderful things can be achieved due to necessity only. Next, we'll go to the next one. Conclusion. Necessity motivates and molds even the weakest to the strongest. Suppose you are weak, so you cannot fight with any strong man. Physically you are weak, but there is need. When you want freedom, you have to fight against a strong man physically. So you invent new methods also. You invent new methods how to win so that person, how to fight with that person. You develop your own techniques how to defeat that person in the arena. Necessity motivates, molds even the weakest to the strongest. When the student decides that he or she has to pass in the examination, and he plans the subject, he plans the subject, and she plans the subject, and how best can I score? What are the shortcut methods? What are the best ways to achieve better ranks or better grades? A necessity that makes you a great person. New ways are being heralded due to necessity only. New ways are heralded due to necessity. New ways in the world of inventions, new things are coming due to necessity. Necessity activates inborn talents. When it is necessity for you, new talents, so inborn talents are activated. So necessity activates inborn talents. That's all about that. Necessity is the mother of invention. Shall we understand the second proverb? Shall we go on? Now let us move on to the second one. Well begun is oft done. Yeah. Well begun is oft done. So well begun, proper beginning that leads to success. When any start is done properly, and automatically the later part of the work will be completed. When there is an obstruction at the very beginning, the work, you psychologically you feel obstructed and the work will not be completed as you wish. That's why well begun is often. Before you start anything, you need to have a planning. You need to have certain program chart. Without having a plan, if the beginning takes place very happily, naturally the things will follow up. And most of the seminars, national seminars, all the educational institutions, and we conduct national seminars, international seminars, state seminars, webinars we conduct. What is the first part? What is the first part of the program? What is the first item in the program agenda? Inviting the guest, inviting the president onto the stage, inviting the speakers onto the stage, inviting each and every member to the seminar. That inaugural function. For any national seminar, for any international seminar, for any event, inaugural ceremony will be there. If the inaugural ceremony is taken place happily, without any obstruction, the later part will take place very happily as it goes on like that. That's why well begun is off done. If inaugural function is done, automatically the later part of the function will go like that very happily, and all people, the organizers feel very happy. Things are going on very well. The collector has come as the chief guest for this function. The minister has arrived here. The commissioner of college education, Sri Naveen Mittal Garu, has graced this function, and really he felt very happy and he applauded this way of conducting this seminar, international seminar. And that's all. That applause, that will work on you like anything. That will work on the organizers, and automatically the later part of the program will go like anything easily. That's why right start is the right path for success. Proper beginning is the proper road for your victory. Systematic beginning is the proper way for your systematic ending. That's the begin any work with a positive mind. That's why let us always be positive. Do anything, start anything with positive mind. So when you begin anything with a positive mind, and half of the work is done. Planned beginning always gets success. Don't start anything with a hazard mind, with a negative mind, with a wavering mind, with all disturbed mind, with all disturbed ideas. When any work is started, what happens? That work is not going to be progressed. Well, what is the reason? Because the starting has got its own problem. That's the reason. So, planned beginning always gets success. Begin any work with a positive mind. So, my dear friends, you try to remember this one very, very clearly. So, try to develop positive attitude. When you start anything with a positive attitude, with a proper planning, with a proper programming, so naturally the later part of the work will go as usually. And you find within no time, so the end is going to be successful. So preparing and planning any work gets positive results. For any success, whether it's academic success, whether it's a professional success, whether it is any kind of success, preparing and planning any work gets positive result. Without preparing, without planning, how can you think about the positive results? This is far from reality. Positive beginning ends with a positive ending. So this is the bottom line sentence. Positive beginning ends with a positive ending. This is very, very important. Well begun is half done. Well begun is almost all half done. So let us think in a very detailed manner. Well begun is half done. Proper preparation would provide energy and confidence. When any inaugural function is conducted properly, when it wins the laurels from all the members in the gathering, you develop energy, you develop confidence, and you show and you put that kind of energy and confidence in that one, and naturally it is going to have success at the end. That you have to understand. If any work is started without any obstruction, means it is assumed that the work is done. If any work is started without any obstruction, it means it is assumed that the work is done. When you started any work, so when the work is started, it doesn't take any obstruction. So try to assume that the work is completed. Starting has got this kind of importance. It will work on our mind. It will have a lot of impact and it will influence our mind also. Beginning is very important. During examinations also, when the students go into the examination hall, when they take question paper into their hands, they have to read once or twice and they have to select the best question for the best answer. Don't select the question that you don't have enough or sufficient knowledge. You select a question for which you have got sufficient information with you. You know pretty well, when you begin to write that one, you can complete it thoroughly. That's why while presenting answers in the examination, so how you present the first answer is very important. That creates impression upon the mind of the answer paper evaluator. The examiner would always understand how the first question is written by this candidate. When you write the first question, when you write the answer for the first question properly, systematically, in a very, very exciting manner, with all good handwriting, with all exuberant information, then that creates an impression on the upon the mind of that paper evaluator. You just imagine this one. That's why it has to be very, very, it has to be kept in the mind. A good start will give necessary momentum. A good start will give necessary momentum to complete your work. When you start the work with happiness, and that will give a lot of momentum to complete your work. That speeds up your work. That develops momentum in you to complete the next part of the work. Goals may be achieved by the efficient planning. Everyone has to understand. Goals are not to be achieved by goals only. Goals are achieved. Goals are goals. They are achieved by goals. Who says this one? No, nothing like that. Goals are to be achieved by goal setters. Goals are to be achieved by goal setters only. When you set a goal, it is you who is going to achieve that goal. It is not somebody else who is going to achieve that goal. So goals may be achieved by the efficient planning, by the proper start. That is very important. I'll give you some examples also. Students preparing for examinations, if started early, will achieve success. Some students know they begin preparation at the nick of the moment, at the 11th hour. In the nick of the moment, they just start. So tomorrow they are going to write examination, and today the student purchases books and material and he begins to read. And this is stupid idea. You can't, because your start is not going to be comfortable. Students preparing for examinations, if started early, if you start early, will achieve success. When you write examination so carefully, when you want to get successful result, go to examination with a thorough preparation. Go to examination hall well before the appointed time, and get into the examination hall, and check the entire area properly, and take the question paper, take the answer sheet, and check all the items and read it thoroughly. All these are the preliminary work. So student, if started early, will achieve success. If you go to examination early, you think about this one with a positive mind. If you go late to the examination hall, can you see all these things? You go with a disturbed mind and you take that question paper, and you don't understand what is to be written. You begin to write answer. You begin to write the answer for the first question, and suddenly you are blocked. Your mind is blocked, and you don't get the information. You strike up that one, again you begin to write answer for the second one. You see, is it going to create a good impression upon the mind of that evaluator? Not at all. So one has to keep heart and soul to attain goals. So well begun is half done. So whenever you want to begin anything, you have to keep your heart and soul to attain goals. When video lesson is to be taken place, you have to keep your heart and soul in that one. When you want to watch video lesson, you have to keep your heart and soul in that one and try to listen whatever the lecturer says to you. When the lecturer begins to give any lecture, one has to keep the heart and soul in that one to achieve the goal of a good teacher. That should be there in everything. I don't say that this is only applied. So this can be applied only in job sector. This can be applied in business. This can be applied in academics. This can be applied to any sector. One has to keep the heart and soul in that area which has been selected by you. And that will start fairly. That will be taken place in a very fair manner. Off-minded work should never be accepted. Off-minded work should never be accepted. In running race competition, for example, when you do with off-minded, can you achieve any success? Nothing at all. For example, I just give you, in running race competition, the first to take off step is important and decides winning. So nearly 20 members are ready to march running race. The first take-off step, the first step that you take, that is going to decide you. When you are ready with a positive mind, when it is given a siren, start, then you take the first take-off step. That is very, very important. and that is going to decide your winning part. I just give one more example. The great industrialist Dhirubhai Ambani started business with a proper planning and with all well beginning. Tremendous success. You know, Dhirubhai Ambani. So a great industrialist with a little amount of money that he started business. But he started with exquisite. He started with perfect planning. He started the business with perfect planning, and he got success, and he created wonderful history in the world of business. The world of business, and he is model to all the business people. Whoever wants to enter the world of business, Dhirubhai Ambani is a role model for all the members. Like that. Preparing relevant PPTs. I just say about this one also. Preparing relevant PPTs would lead to good video lesson. When you prepare PPTs properly, and when you take a lesson, when you take a video lesson, and that is going to be a good video lesson. You can't just come and just sit here and across the table, or when you sit before a table or before any laptop and just give extempore. Is it going to create any impression upon the minds of the listeners? Certainly not at all. Preparing relevant PPTs would lead to good video lesson. In the same way, prepare yourself. That's called, well begun is half done. Beginning the interview calmly would lead to success. When you attend any interview, when you attend any interview, you just with a cool mind, with a positive mind, when you begin to give answers in a cool manner, in a very, very safe manner, in a nice manner, so what happens? You are going to succeed in that interview. Is it right or not? Next. So this is the thing. It's called well begun is half done. Systematic approach to any task leads to success. In the conclusion part, I would like to say to you, systematic approach to any task leads to success. You have to prioritize your needs. Prioritizing needs is essential. Which need first? Suppose you have a lot of needs. You have to prioritize all the needs. Which need is the first? Which is the second? Which is the third? Which is the last? Just by prioritizing, you can make your success confirm. Be efficient in planning and presenting. Thorough understanding of any task is needed. When you want to get success, you have to understand thoroughly. Then only you can get success. The task that begins well. The task that begins well is the task that ends well. You see this one? The task that begins well is the task that ends well. Good beginning will always have good ending. So in that way, so we have studied two value-oriented proverbs. So let us revise two proverbs. We have known how necessity prompts and propels to move forward to wonderful inventions. How necessity is the mother of invention. How necessity prompts and propels the people to move forward to achieve wonderful inventions. Some greater works were done out of necessity. Some scientific inventions were achieved by the scientist because of necessity only. And regarding this, well begun is half done. We have known how the proper beginning shows the way to success. The way to success. Well begun is half done. The proper beginning shows the way to success. Well begun is half done is a personality development slogan. When you want to refine your personality, plan properly, start properly, and success will be yours. In today's video class, we have known the excellent meaning, enchanting value about necessity is the mother of invention. Well begun is half done. In what way we can improve our personality? In what way we can be successful in the society by understanding the values of these two proverbs? In that way, we can feel very happy. I hope that everyone has understood very well. And I also make an appeal to all the members to apply the real meaning of these proverbs and enhance your values in whatever the profession that you enter, in whatever the area that you enter. You can be a successful person. You can be successful anywhere by incorporating the inner meanings of these proverbs, and success will be yours. And thank you very much for listening to me. And thank you one and all. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.